like potatoes in general. This is why this tier list is great for me. I love potatoes. All right. Let me tell you, I love potatoes. Like even hash browns in the fine, I guess, tier, I'll still eat them. I'll still eat them. They're not my favorite, but let me tell you, like any kind of potato here, any kind of starch. Let me get that starch in my life. Hello, everybody. My name is Christian, and welcome back to That's the Flavor, episode number 43, your weekly podcast where typically I sit down with my co-host Ozzy and we hang out and answer some of life's goofiest topics, like can your tongue pop an ollie, Scooby-Doo versus Airbud, was Shakespeare packing heat, and everything else in between, things that you send at us, things that we come up with, and so forth. You can find it on your podcast feeds every Monday, but you guys already know all that. Maybe we'll talk about it a little later. But my co-host Ozzy is absent today because there's some scheduling issues. I was coming back from vacation. He's settling into New York and doing the show that he's in. So I still wanted to get something out to you guys. A little bit of a solo episode, solo excursion. We're going to test something out this week. I do have a little bit of something planned. I'm not sure it's going to last the full 50 minutes, but we're going to hang out, have a good time, and see what happens. Thank you guys for the support on episode number 42 and just the podcast in general. While I was on vacation, when there wasn't really any YouTube shorts or anything coming out, the support was insane. I was watching podcast listens tick up and up and up and up. So if you have been checking out the podcast, I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing it around to family members, friends, and so forth. Thank you guys for buying merch as well. If you guys want to buy some merch, you can check us out over at, what is it? That's the flavor.creator-spring.com, the world's most convoluted URL in the world. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into what I have planned this week. And this week, I'm going to sit down with you guys, sit down with the taste buds, and we're going to rank different types of potatoes. And don't worry, I know what you're thinking, like, clicking off, because he's probably talking about, like, Yukon Golds versus Russets. No. We're ranking the different, like, potato dishes. We're talking mashed potatoes. We're talking fries. We're talking potatoes, bratvas, bratkas. We're talking latkes. We're talking hash browns. We're talking home fries. We're going to rank them into a tier list. The definitive, That's the Flavor tier list of potatoes for you all to go ahead and ridicule and hate and so forth. I'm very excited. I found this tier list off of like tiermaker.com, so we're going to go ahead and use that. So you guys want to see the actual like tier list and we're replacing things at, go ahead and check out the video version over on YouTube. But if you guys are listening on the audio, it should still also work out. We'll kind of recap it all at the end as well. Make sure we're doing well for both of y'all. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and kick into it. Let me go ahead and get the tier list pulled up. And we're just going to kind of see what happens this week. I don't know. Doing a solo That's the Flavor thing is kind of interesting, Because also I'm trying to focus. I got an eyelash in my eye. You all ever been there? You get an eyelash stuck in your eye and it just kind of throws off your whole game? Because that's me right now, But we go ahead. We got our tier list here. Over here on Tier Maker. And so the tiers we're going to be working with today, right here, I'm going to go for the tiers first, and then going to go through the potatoes that we are ranking. So at the highest tier, we have many years since I've had such an exemplary vegetable. That's the top tier, that's the top cream of the crop. Below that, we then have Spudtacular. Below Spudtacular, we have Boil 'em, Mash 'em, Stick 'em in a Stew. Below Boil 'em, Mash 'em, Stick 'em in a Stew, we have Fine, I guess. Shrugging emoji, maybe. Beneath Fine, I guess, we have Don't Know Her, which I'm going to use as the category for things that I have not had. That's going to be that category for us. And then the final category is Disgusting. That's where, the worst of the worst will be heading for us tonight, I'm just saying. But yeah. So those are the tiers. That's where we're going to be placing all of these potato dishes tonight. And then let's go ahead and go through the potato dishes ourselves that we have, to go ahead and rank today. We have aloo gobi, which I can already tell you where that one's going because I've never heard of that dish in my life. But we'll get to that in a second. We got baked potatoes. We got boiled potatoes. We got French fries. We got gnocchi. We got hash brown pucks, hash browns, Hasselback potatoes, home fries, kettle cooked potato chips, latkes, mashed potatoes, patatas bravas. That's what it is. It's patatas bravas. There we go. We have just normal potato chips, potatoes au gratin, potato rolls, potato salad, potato skins, potato soup, a raw potato, roasted potatoes, scallop potatoes, skinny fries, Smashed potatoes. Smashed potatoes number 2. Smiley fries, steak fries, tater tots, twice baked potatoes, vodka, waffle fries, wedge fries, curly fries, pierogies, and knishes. That is a lot that we got to get through, but we're going to go ahead and I think we'll knock out some faster than others. Some of them will have reasoning for, others will be like, hey, I've just never had that before. But, it's going to be a great time. We're going to hang out, have a great time. I feel like what better thing for me, Christian, to do on a solo experience than rank potatoes with you guys, then have you guys judge me throughout the week this week and be like, yo, Christian, your ranking sucked. It was terrible. And I'm like, you know what? Opinions are opinions, but also you're probably right, because there's going to be some stuff I haven't had. And you'd be like, that's the best, most spudtacular thing I've ever had. Why is it not higher? And I'll be like, listen, I'm sorry. But yeah, we're going to rank these, see how long we go for, have a great time. And starting off, we have aloo gobi. I have never had aloo gobi. I'm very curious what it is. Anything that I haven't had, we're going to maybe give a little Google search to, see what it is. So aloo gobi, if Google wants to load a little bit. Actually, wait, this isn't Google. This is. Why is it loading? Why did it load Bing? I've been betrayed. Aloo gobi. I don't trust Bing. I'm sorry. There we. Oh, it did it again. It did it. Microsoft, what are you guys doing out there? You're trying to force me to use a service I don't want. Okay, it's still going to Bing. I'm not sure what's up with that. But let's see. Okay, then and this is why Bing is the worst. It's not telling me what aloo gobi is. Maybe I should have typed in what is aloo gobi. We could have gotten there. Here we go. Aloo gobi is one of the most popular and favorite Indian dishes, and rightly made very popular by movies like Bend It Like Beckham. Aloo gobi is a vegetarian dish from the Indian subcontinent made with potatoes, cauliflower, and Indian spices. It is popular in Indian cuisine. Interesting. That makes sense why I haven't had it. I'm not a huge Indian cuisine person in the sense that I haven't actually ever had. I don't think I've ever had Indian food personally. Maybe that's something I have to change in my life, But we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put aloo gobi in the don't know where tab. All right, that's just me. That's just me. Next up, we have baked potatoes. Baked potatoes. Now, this is an interesting one, because I think I'm going to put baked potatoes a little lower. I'm not sure, because baked potatoes are really like a staple, and I appreciate them. But I think, they become a lot of work, especially, when you're getting the potato out of the baked skin. So baked potatoes, I don't really have much to say on. I mean, they're all right. I'm going to put them in the boil and mash them, stick them in a stew. One could argue I might put them in fine, I guess, but I still appreciate a baked potato every now and then. Not sure where you guys rank baked potatoes. Let me know. Again, all these rankings, I'm very curious what you guys are going to think that I should have changed or so forth. Next up, we have boiled potatoes. And I'm very curious because is it very much just sticking the potato into the water and boiling it? Is that what we're talking by boiled potatoes? Boiled potatoes. Let's see. This is all how to boil potatoes. I want to get my boiled potatoes with butter. Oh, okay, so it looks like it's just boiling the whole potato and then covered in maybe some cheese, garlic, so forth. I've never had it, but I mean I've had potatoes, and I've had the way they're showed right now. It almost looks to me like what my family calls butter and parsley potatoes, which I think butter and I think butter and parsley potatoes slap. So personally, I'm gonna put boiled potatoes in the spudtacular tier, because I'm interpreting them as what I think they are, looking at all these pictures. If boiled potatoes is just taking the potato and putting it in boiling it whole and just slapping it out and eating it, that's a little gross in my opinion. But I'm throwing that out there. Spudtacular boiled potatoes. Next up, we have French fries, which just look like your everyday crunchy munchy French fries. Hanging out, having a grand old time. These are an easy one for me. Not even going to explain it. They're going in the many years since I've had such an exemplary vegetable. Exemplary. That's what that word is. It's exemplary. An exemplary vegetable. And that's where French fries are going. I mean, come on. They're French fries. Right. So, That's an easy one. Not even going to explain that. I feel like if anybody thinks French fries should go lower, I'm going to have to fight them personally. That's the one I will ride or die for. Easy, any day. Next up, we got gnocchi. Gnocchi is an interesting one because I've only ever really had gnocchi in like chicken and gnocchi soup, right? Like from Olive Garden, or if you make it at home, so forth. But like, I like it in that soup, and I feel like I would like it in other things. Personally, I'm going to go ahead and put the gnocchi in Spudtacular. Simply for the notion of soup, but simply because, like, from a texture standpoint, I feel like I would like it in other things as well. I just haven't tried it in other things. Hash brown pucks are an interesting one because I'm not sure if you guys are going to agree or not, but, like, hash brown pucks are interesting because you talk about, like, when I think McDonald's hash brown puck, right? But that's not every hash brown puck in the world. Because, like, think about when you buy them at, like, a store and you go home and make them yourself in, like, the oven or an air fryer, and they're just not the same. And you're kind of disappointed by them, right? Like, and I feel like if we were talking like just McDonald's hash brown pucks, right, they'd go a little higher. But we're talking just hash brown pucks in general. I got to go ahead and put hash brown pucks in the boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Because unless you're getting it from McDonald's, like if they were McDonald's hash brown pucks, many years since I've had an exemplary vegetable. But boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew for me. You know, that's what I'm saying, right? Right. I think you guys get it here at home. You guys understand. So right now we're kind of looking, we got a little bit of a spread going on. I got a lot of Spudtacular, a lot of boil and mash them. Next up, we have normal hash browns. These are an easy fine, I guess. You know, they're okay. Like out of any of your breakfast potatoes, I would rather have a hash brown puck over hash browns. Like they're all right. I feel like they're a lot of work for what they are, like shredded potatoes, and you fry them up. Like I don't know. Not a lot of potato actually goes there. I feel like you're getting more oil at that point. It's almost like getting like thin fries in a sense. Like you're just getting a lot of crunch and a lot of oil taste, not a lot of actual fry. So hash browns are fine, I guess. They're okay. Hasselback potatoes are next up. I don't think I've ever had a Hasselback potato. Hasselback potatoes. Hasselback potatoes, or potatoes a la Hasselbacken, are... Potatoes a la Hasselbacken are a type of baked potato that is cut about halfway through into thin, fan-like slices. Oh, these are like the fan potatoes. Oh, okay. I've never had them, but they look cool, and I bet they would taste great. But because I've never had them, they have to go in the don't know tier because I've never had them. It'd be fair to unrank them otherwise. Honestly, just from the way they look and the way I think they taste, watching like TikToks and stuff, right? I feel like they're an easy Spudtacular tier. But because I don't know them, and I've only seen them, I've only eaten them with my eyes, basically. Got to put them in the don't know tab. You know, I'm just saying. Next up, we have home fries. And home fries are like the superior breakfast potato, in my opinion. Besides hash brown pucks, like home fries, like home fries and normal hash browns, like it's all home fries are the easiest answer out of all of them. For a breakfast potato, easy Spudtacular for me. Easy. Home fries all day. Anyway. Next up, we got kettle cooked potato chips. Now, there's also normal potato chips. And like, I don't know. Kettle cooked, it all depends on the mood, right? I don't know if one's necessarily better than the other, but like you guys probably understand. There's a certain time and place for kettle cooked potato chips. And there's also a certain time and place for normal potato chips. Right? Right. And I feel like it's almost unfair to rank one over the other, but I have to for the sake of this tier list. And I think I'm going to base it down to the crunch factor, right? And obviously the kettle cooked is a heartier crunch. And most of my favorite chip itself is a kettle cooked barbecue chip. But like now, mind you, it's not saying kettle cooked barbecue potato chip, but I'm gonna put the kettle cooked chip into the boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew tier. Although I kind of want to put them a little bit higher in like the many years since I've had an exemplary vegetable, but like I don't know. I don't know. This one's difficult for me. We might come back. I might think on this one. For now, I'm gonna put them in the boil and mash them tier. Just cause like you know I'm not entirely sure, but that's just where we are for now. Next up, we got latkes. Now latkes, in the few times I've had them in my life, they slap. Anytime I see them on like a TikTok or an Instagram reel or a YouTube video, and someone's like, "Let's make latkes," let me tell you, I'll chat. Not chat. Sorry, I'm acting like I'm a video game streamer. Audience, taste buds, come here, come close, come close. If you're listening on earbuds, put them like closer in your ear. If you're listening in your car, go a little closer to, come a little closer to your speakers. Latkes slap. All right. I also realized I got closer to the microphone now, so like it might be very loud all of a sudden. But I tried to lower my volume to compensate. But like latkes slap. In the few times that I've had them in my life, the memories that I have of latkes. So latkes are an easy, exemplary vegetable tier. Easy S tier, basically. Latkes are an exemplary vegetable. Next up, we've got another exemplary vegetable, easy top tier, mashed potatoes. Not even a discussion. I will not debate this. Mashed potatoes are like one of my favorite foods in the entire world. Like potatoes in general. This is why this tier list is great for me. I love potatoes, all right? Let me tell you, I love potatoes. Like even hash browns in the fine I guess tier, I'll still eat them. They're not my favorite, but let me tell you, like any kind of potato here, any kind of starch. Let me get that starch in my life. All right, I'm looking at you right now in the YouTube video. Let me get that starch in my life. And I watched my camera just do the weird autofocus jiggle that it does. That's kind of cool. But potatoes, mashed potatoes, easy mashed potato, exemplary vegetable tier. Next up, we got patatas bravas. It's funny. I took 4 years of Spanish, and I learned the word potato like the back of my hand. But now here I am struggling to say it. But we got patatas bravas. Patatas. Yes, patatas. And I've never had it again. But it is a dish native to Spain. It typically consists of white potatoes that have been cut into 2-centimeter wide cubes. That's oddly specific. That is an oddly specific measurement, but going on. Then fried in oil and served warm with one or several spicy sauces. The dish is commonly served in restaurants and bars throughout Spain as a variety of tapa. Interesting. So it's just like fried potatoes served with sauce, if I'm understanding it. And that's what it looks like in these pictures too. I'm gonna throw some pictures up on screen. I might not. But yeah, it just looks like fried potatoes with like some sauce on it. Interesting. But is that the same? Is that just not the same as like a fried potato then? You know what I mean? That's the interesting thing. There's no fried potato on here. But I feel like this is basically just fried potatoes. So I'm going to count this as fried potatoes. And I'm going to put fried potatoes in like the boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew tier. Like they're not my favorite way to eat a potato, but like I will definitely eat a potato that way. Next up, we got potato chips, the normal kind. I want to put them in the fine, I guess, tier. Like, the way I compare it, right, is like a Lay's chip, right, compared to, trying to think of a kettle cooked chip brand off the top of my head. I don't know why I can't. But yes, compared to insert kettle cooked chip brand here, I would rather take the kettle cooked. If I had to choose between the two chips, it's easy kettle cooked all the way. And then potato chips themselves, like an Utz potato chip, a Lay's potato chip, get them out of here. Get them out of here. That's how I look at it. And we're going to go ahead and pause the tier list here real quick, and I'm going to let you guys know that That's the Flavor is brought to you by That's the Flavor. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's your weekly podcast where typically my co-host Ozzy and I sit down, hang out, answer some of life's greatest, goofiest questions. This week, obviously, you guys got me sitting here ranking potatoes. We just like to have fun here, hang out, have a good time, kind of like support other friends doing other things. On the last episode, we had on a friend of the show, Victoria, and we talked about her breaking her elbow as well as her animation YouTube channel. So we like to just do a lot over here and hang out and have a good time with you guys, our taste buds. We also have now been selling merch. There's a link in the description for that. We're on any kind of social media. We're on YouTube. We're on any of your favorite Spotify platforms. And yeah, thank you guys for supporting That's the Flavor so far. We're not really going anywhere. Sorry we took an unannounced a week off and didn't really say anything about it. But, just with everything that was going on, by the time I realized there wasn't going to be an episode out, I needed to have sent out the stuff that there was an episode out. Like, I was in the middle of traveling. Sorry we left you guys hanging and we disappeared, but we're here, we're back, we're hanging out, having a great old time for episode 43. Thank you guys for hanging out as well. If you guys appreciate and enjoy this solo episode, make sure to let me know. So, I can maybe plan on doing more solo stuff if need be. Not that that's really the plan, but I just want to know that, like, doing this is something that I can do versus, hey, Christian, never do that again. It was terrible. Terrible 30 minutes of my life I'll never get back. So yeah, just go ahead and let me know your feedback. I'm going to take a drink here real quick, and we're going to get back into the tier list. Ooh. It's also really interesting because I used to do, and I've talked about it a lot on the podcast before, I used to do, like, YouTube content. Like, I used to do gaming videos and so forth, so I did a lot of talking where it was just myself talking, right? But I haven't done it in a decently long time, so, like, doing it now, it's bringing some memories back, and also, I forgot how, like, dry my mouth would get, right, from talking so much, like, not really pausing to take a drink or have time. It's different than having a dialogue, having a conversation with someone, and I kind of forgot that difference for a while. But I think we're hanging out, having a great time. I'm enjoying this. Next up, we got potatoes au gratin. Some au gratin potatoes. Au gratin? Au gratin potatoes, right? Right? They're all right. Scallop potato, throw a little cheese in there. It's a little bit of a cheesy sauce. They're not my favorite, personally. I'm honestly gonna put them into the fine, I guess, tier. Like, if I was eating them, like, sure, I'll eat them, but not really like my go-to one way or another. No, because scallop potatoes are right there. Hang on. So what's the difference between scallop potatoes and potatoes au gratin? Hang on to the internet. Potatoes au gratin. What is the difference? Okay, so potatoes au gratin. Scalloped. So potatoes au gratin are what I was saying they are. But scallop potatoes are also the same? They're the same thing. Huh. According to the internet, it says they're the same thing. So I'm going to put both of these in the same tier. Into the fine. I'm just going to skip ahead on the list here a little bit. Knock them both out. Put them into the fine, I guess, tier. Because to me, they look like they're the same thing. I also think it's really hard if you're taking a fork, right? Let's say you're eating, like, them as a side for dinner, right? And you're taking a fork, it's really hard to, like, stab up the sliced potato. Could just be a me thing, but, like, I struggle with that. And so if I have to struggle to eat my potato type, I'm not. Sorry, you're out the window. Like, that's just how I look at it. If you're going to make it more difficult for me to eat the potato, I'm not eating the potato. Not happening. Like, I'll still eat it, but, like, I'm going to enjoy it less. That's how I look at it. Next up, we have potato rolls. Potato rolls, I feel like, are a classic in, on most sandwiches, so forth. But also, like, potato bread just kind of slaps. It's an easy spudtacular for me. Bread, it's two of your favorite things. Like, bread and also potatoes. Easy combination. That's an easy win in my book. I don't think that it's a crazy S tier, potato type, but it's still up there. It's the backbone to most sandwiches in life, Where would we be overall in food history without potato rolls, is how I look at it. Next up, we have potato salad. I'm going to easily put it in the disgusting tier. Potato salad is disgusting in my opinion. I don't like it, but that's mainly because I don't like mayo. That's my big thing. Mayo is the big barrier there. Because let me just make sure here. Potato salad has mayo, right? Salad, have mayo. Hello? Internet, please load. Yes. Yes, I am correct. I'm not wrong. Potato salad looks gross in my standpoint. I think it's got mayo in it. Mayo is gross, so we're gonna go there. I'm not gonna fight anybody on this. I could be wrong, but like potato salad. Just I don't really got an argument for this one. I just don't like it. It's the number one disgusting for me. Next up, we have potato skins. Now, this is an interesting one because I've had potato skins like a handful of times in my life, right? And I appreciate them. I've never had them enough, I think, to fully indulge them and put them in a spot on the tier list that makes sense, right? Right. So for me, to be fair to potato skins in this instance, because I haven't had them enough to really understand it, we are going to put potato skins into the don't know her tier. Because I don't know them well enough to rank them high enough. Is how I look at it. Like, I don't, that's just how I look at it. I want to give them a fair shake, and I feel like to put them in the disgusting tab isn't fair. To put them in the fine, I guess, tier isn't fair, but just not really understanding my relationship with potato skins yet. Now, one could argue, well, Christian, you don't know your relationship with potato salad. No, I know my relationship with potato salad. Potato salad is gross, and I stand by that fact. I know that relationship with potato salad well. All right, taste buds. All right, moving on. Next up, we have potato soup. Now, potato soup, I feel like, is an easy, exemplary vegetable dish. I mean, potato soup, you got cheese, you got bacon in there, you got a nice hearty potato broth, vegetable broth, hanging in there, warming up your soul on a cold winter day. Easy for me. Like any kind of soup, like if chicken and gnocchi soup was on here, because I feel like it could be, because gnocchi is a vegetable, but it's not, it's fine. Like that would also be an S tier. Like I'm just a big soup guy. Potato soup is easy for me. It incorporates my favorite potato food, and also has bacon and cheese. It's kind of like it's like a liquid potato skin, honestly. If you think about it, if you really pause and think about it, potato soup is just liquid potato skin. I'm going to leave you guys with that one, and we're going to keep moving on here. But just think about that. Think about that. Next up, we have raw potato. Raw potato. Now this, what you can do with raw potato is you can boil them and mash them, stick them in a stew. Am I right or am I right? Because, that's what you do with a raw potato. That's what you do. You boil it, you mash it, you stick them in a stew. If you're really eating raw potato, I have worrisome questions for you. Raw potato could go in the disgusting tab, but what do you really do with a raw potato? You boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. I feel like it has to go in this tier. It has to. Next up, you have roasted potatoes. Roasted potatoes are delicious in my opinion. I think they're more superior than like a fried potato scenario, given that time to really crisp up yet also soften up. Creating the hard exterior, but also the tender interior. And, once you break in through that wall, you can really kind of see what the roasted potatoes been going through all this time. And I feel like we don't give enough credit to roasted potatoes just really doing their best to keep that wall up and protect themselves, but also to try and open up and be a little bit better. Roasted potatoes are an easy spud-tacular for me. Next up, we got skinny fries. Skinny fries is like a hash brown scenario for me, right? Because depending on where you get them from, you either get like the crunchy oil bit, or you get like a good fry. But I feel like more often than not, I've gotten like a crunchy oil scenario versus an actual fry. And skinny fries for me are going to go in the fine, I guess, tier. Like they're all right, but like I'm not head over heels over skinny fries. They're not my go-to fry. Next up, we have smashed potatoes. And I think smashed potatoes are just rough mashed potatoes. Let's again to the internet. Smashed. Like, are they just roughly mashed potatoes? Like, at least in this picture, that's what they look like. They don't look like the normal, like, smashed potatoes. Like, that's what it looks like to me. I'm going to assume it's just roughly mashed potatoes, which in my mind are also still just mashed potatoes. So that's an easy exemplary vegetable tier because it's still a mashed up potato. And I feel like it's just a different level of mashed potato at that point. Now we have the smashed potatoes too, which are your typical grab something heavy, smash down a little potato. These things are pretty good. They're almost like full potato chips. You know what I mean? They're like a potato chip versus a potato chip, right? Especially the way they crisp up. They got a little bit. There's still enough potato in there. I'm definitely putting them to the boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew tier. That's just me personally. Next up, we have smiley fries. Smiley fries, a bit of a controversial one here. I think it's going to be a controversial one. But I'm also going to put smiley fries into the fine, I guess, tier. And the reason being is they're pretty dry. They're a pretty dry fry. And I'm not sure if you guys know that or not, but like they're pretty eh. Like, there's not a great way to go about it. It's just they're really dry. I don't think they're worth their bang for their buck, honestly. Especially in this day and age when you're maybe there's a little bit of that nostalgia factor there, like from like being a kid, and sometimes you get them in like the school lunch, right? They do smiley fries, but I'm not really seeing it otherwise. Not really a fan of it. You know, smiley fries, easy fine, I guess, tier for me personally. Next up, we got steak fries. Now, steak fries are personally my favorite fry. They're they're the go-to fry in my opinion, because when they're done right, they're done really well. But when they're done poorly, they're also done not super great. So I don't want to put them in the exemplary vegetable tier, and I think I'm going to put them in the spudtacular tier because they're a personal favorite of mine. But I'm not really like head over heels for them, right? Like that's not true. They're a favorite fry of mine, but if they're cooked wrong, then like I'm not head over heels for them. Like, but they are a favorite of mine. But like all it takes is like 1 minute too early, you pull them out, and then like, you got a lot of just like well put together potato in there still. But if you go like a minute too late, then they're also not great. Like if you find that happy medium though, it's like a fluffy cloud in your mouth, dude. Like I don't know a better way to put it. Steak fries, when they're done well, fluffy fry in the mouth. Plus, you guys know me, I'm a big Red Robin fan. Red Robin, if you're out there listening, that's a flavor I'd love to work with y'all. Go ahead, reach out to me. But like steak fries, delicious. A little Red Robin seasoning even. Like now that would put them up into the exemplary vegetable S tier, right? But we're not talking about Red Robin steak fries, so I'm going to keep them in spudtacular. But Red Robin, if you're listening, like I said, that's the flavor. Reach out to us at that'stheflavor@gmail.com. We'd love to work with you. Have a great time. Hang out. So far, this tier list is coming together really well, you know, but steak fries, easy spudtacular tier. I feel like I would be biased to put them in the S tier here, but keep them in spud. Tater tots are up next. I'm going to put them into the boil and mash them, stick them in a stew tier, because they're not worse than skinny fries, but like they're also one, again, as well, where like if they're fried too long, they're just little pockets of oil, right? And again, then you're getting oil, you're not getting potato. You're getting like over fried potato, but it's just oil at that point. So easily for me, tater tots gonna go in the mid tier because again, like then they're just, it depends. It depends on who's doing the potato. Twice baked potatoes, I've never had them personally. I think they'd be delicious. Like looking at them, and I've seen them before. They look delicious. I've just never had them, and unfortunately, I can't rank them higher than the don't know her tab. I'm sorry, twice baked potatoes. Don't do this. Don't look at me like that. Twice baked potatoes. Don't. I'm sorry. Okay, I can't. Vodka is up next, which vodka is a weird one to be on this list anyway. Like, yes, I know it comes from potatoes, but like, I don't know. I'm putting it in the disgusting tab because I think vodka is disgusting personally. It's not my go-to liquor. Even though I don't even drink that much to begin with, but it's not my go-to liquor if I were to be drinking. So vodka is going to go in the disgusting tab. I just think it's gross, personally. And that's just that. Sorry if it's your favorite liquor and I ranked it too low. I ranked it too low for your liking. Waffle fries are going to go... This is an interesting one. Like, a lot of fry tiers aren't great, if you think about it. Like, a lot of fries... I don't know. Waffle fries, I'm also probably gonna put in like the boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew spot because like or even fine, I guess, because like they're not my go. If someone said, "Hey, do you want fries?" Waffle fries would not be one of the first three I think about. One of the first three I think about would be French fries, tater tots, or steak fries, right? And even then after that, then there's still skinny fries, smiley fries, and then waffle fries maybe, right? But like they're okay. Like they're still a fry. I'm still gonna eat them. Next up, we have wedge fries. And wedge fries are kind of like a steak fry in the sense where, like, if they're not cooked long enough, they just taste like you're eating a lot of potato. But if they're cooked too long, like, then they kind of fall out of that. They got a weird grace period middle scenario as well, which is why wedge fries, I'm going to put them into the spectacular tier with steak fries because they're also seasoned. And, like, a seasoned fry is mwah in my opinion. Next up, we have curly fries. Curly fries are an easy exemplary vegetable. I mean, come on. It's a curly fry. It's seasoned. It dangles. You used to play with them as a kid. Like, I know when I was a kid, you get curly fries. You, like, compete to see who has the longest one. And then, like, you're dangling in front of each other. Like, oh, look at me. I got a longer one than you. Like, and it's just a big curly fry. And I realize without proper context, that entire analogy sounds pretty off-putting. But it's, curly fries. They're delicious. Eat them up, have a great time. Next up, we got pierogies. Now, pierogies are an interesting one, because for the longest time, I didn't like pierogies. But I didn't know why, I just didn't like pierogies. And then I tried one. This is like a month or two ago at this point. I tried one. I was like, this pierogi's really good. You're just telling me it's like vegetable and it's like a little potato dumpling kind of scenario? Didn't know that. So like pierogies, for me, because I haven't had them enough, even though I like them, kind of similar to potato skins, are going to go in the Don't Know Her tab. But like, if I were to update this list, like let's say a year from now, pierogies I feel like would definitely be higher. But for now, to be fair, they're going down into the Don't Know Her tab because I don't know them that well. And to end us off here, I got to find out what a knish is just for research purposes. Because I don't think I've ever had a knish. Keeps taking me to Bing. This is interesting. Knish is a traditional Jewish snack food consisting of a filling covered with dough that is typically baked or sometimes deep fried. Okay. Main ingredients: mashed potatoes, dough, ground meat, sauerkraut. All right. I've definitely never had a knish before. Knish is going to go and end us off here by also going into the Don't Know Where tab because I've just never had a knish. And I'm also now learning there are a lot of potato types that I've never had before. I gotta catch up here. Like Hasselback potatoes, potato skins, I gotta get to know better. Twice baked potatoes, pierogies, I gotta get to know better. But this ends off our tier list here. We have our final tier list. Knishes was the very last thing. And looking at our tier list here, I feel like I definitely could have been harsher on some things, but I also just like potatoes too much that like any of the things on this list I would eat, right? Minus potato salad. Like even vodka, I would drink vodka. Like I would, but it's in my opinion, it's like disgusting. But like any of these things on here, I'd eat. Which is why, to cap off the way our tier list looks at the end of this session, we have in the disgusting tier, or sorry, disgusting. We have vodka and potato salad. Only two things that I'd really find like disgusting. Right. In the Don't Know Her tab, we have aloo gobi, Hasselback potatoes, potato skins, twice baked potatoes, pierogies, and knishes. And again, I feel like Hasselback potatoes, potato skins, twice baked potatoes, and like pierogies are all things that would not be in that tier list, but like I either haven't actually had them or haven't had them enough to judge them, right? In the fine, I guess, tier, we have hash browns, normal potato chips, potatoes au gratin, scallop potatoes, skinny fries, smiley fries, and waffle fries. Hash browns, I said my piece about there, they're like the most inferior breakfast potato. Potato chips, I'd rather have a kettle cooked. Potatoes au gratin and scallop potatoes, I don't like the effort it takes to stab the potato, like the sliced potato, right? Easily. Then skinny fries, smiley fries, and waffle fries, I think are all just inferior styles of fries. And yes, they have their moments, but typically they're either like skinny fries, I think, can be overcooked way too often. Smiley fries are too dry, and like waffle fries are just kind of like complicated to eat a lot of times. There's a lot of shapes and intersections going on, and I don't really know like the best way to go about eating a waffle fry sometimes. In the boil and mash them, stick them in a stew tier, we end off with baked potatoes, hash brown pucks, the middle tier for breakfast potato, kettle cooked potato chips, patatas bravas, raw potato, smashed potatoes number 2, like the actual smashed in a pan scenario, like smashed on a pan, and tater tots. Baked potatoes, they're great. I feel like they're a lot of effort for what they're worth, but like they're still good. Hash brown pucks are middle of the road. Unless you're getting the McDonald's hash brown puck, then it's an easy like S tier, but we're not, so forth. Kettle cooked chips are the superior chip. And in terms of a potato chip debate, patatas bravas are just like fried potatoes. So, like fried potatoes, they slap. Like they're all right. Like they slap, but like they're still all right. A raw potato is you boil it, mash it, or stick them in a stew. Smashed potatoes are also delicious. They're like potato chips. Tater tots are you're getting up there into the fry types in my opinion, but they can still also be done dirty just as many times. Spudtacular. We got some boiled potatoes slap, a little butter, a little parsley, sometimes some cheese, maybe some garlic. Gnocchi is great in a soup. Home fries are just the superior breakfast potato, right? Also, I realize I'm really low in this chair because I still haven't fixed it. So, like, here I am down here. Like, what do I look like on camera? Yeah, I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? I'm down here. kind of commentate this tier list. Gonna go ahead and continue on, but what's up? No, I keep like sinking lower into this chair that's already low. But we also have home fries, right? We already talked about that superior breakfast potato. Potato rolls, they're the staple to most sandwiches in America. Roasted potatoes are just delicious. They're like the superior way of a fried potato, in my opinion. They get a little more time to really open up and create a relationship with us as the eater. Steak fries are like a superior fry type. They're one of my favorites. Personally, if it was a Red Robin steak fry, easy S tier. And then wedge fries are the same thing as steak fries, but like seasoned in my opinion. But they can also just be done just as dirty by being cooked not as long. And in the final, and that was also the spectacular tier, by the way. In the exemplary vegetable tier, the highest honor that's the flavor, I, Christian, here at That's the Flavor, can award potatoes, is the many years since I've had such an exemplary vegetable tier. And in that tier, we have French fries, latkes, mashed potatoes, potato soup, smashed potatoes, and curly fries. Your good standard French fry, delicious, done at most places, delicious. Not really much to say about it. It's just the perfect way to eat a fried potato, in my opinion. Outside of Red Robin steak fries. Not sponsored. Wish I was sponsored, but we're not. Latkes. Latkes are delicious, even in just a few times I've had them. Now, one could argue, as I've realized later in this tier list, and honestly, I'm thinking about moving it myself, that I haven't had latkes enough, right, to really put them up this high. They should be in the Don't Know Where tab. And I see that now. And I feel like I've made a mistake. And I feel like latkes, by regulation of how we have done this tier list, have to go in the Don't Know Where tab, because I have not had them enough to get a relationship with them. But in the few times I've had them, god damn, are they delicious. And that's, you know what? No, I'm leaving it. This is my tier list. I can do whatever I want. I can break the rules of this tier list. I can do it any which way. Latkes, delicious, yum. Mashed potatoes are like my favorite way to eat a potato, except for instant mashed potatoes, because instant mashed potatoes are gross. And they're not on this tier list, but they should be, because they would go in the disgusting tab. But like mashed potatoes themselves, made from actual potato, easy. Potato soup, delicious, hearty meal, warms your soul. All right. Smashed potatoes are just like mashed potatoes where you miss a couple potato chunks. So like, you got a little bit of texture in your potato, right? They're like a hearty version of a mashed potato. And then of course, curly fries are the most delicious thing in the world. Not as delicious as Red Robin steak fries, but they're still pretty delicious. And there's not really much else that can be said about a curly fry. Am I right or am I right? But that, taste buds, is our tier list. Our potato, that's the flavor tier list. Ozzy might disagree. You taste buds at home might disagree. Let me know where you actually rank your stuff on the potato list. Go ahead and leave it on the Spotify Q&A. Go ahead and let us know in the comments. Let us know where we messed up, where I messed up. I keep saying we, but I'm the only one that's responsible for this. This is all me. This is all me. But audience, as we get to the end of this tier list, oh my god, we went for 40-something minutes. Oh my god. Audience, we went for 40 minutes. That's longer than I thought I had in me. I can't believe it. I'm going to take another drink. My throat is dry. Delicious. I've been drinking a lot of these Peace teas recently. They're pretty great. We're also not sponsored by them, but I just wanted to let you guys know, if you haven't tried them, go try a Peace tea. They're pretty great. Hey, Peace Tea, if you're out there and you want to sponsor a fun little podcast, go ahead and reach out to us. That's the flavor at gmail.com. This is the Caddy Shack, which is like a half and half tea, half lemonade, and it's delicious. But, yes. Audience, it's time to bring this episode of That's the Flavor to a close. Like I said, this is something that I was just experimenting, wanting to do, because I still wanted to get an episode out to you guys this week. So here I am, the night before it's supposed to come out, recording this and just going to see how it goes. I had a lot of fun doing this personally myself. It was fun to kind of sit down solo in front of the camera and record this out. I know I probably didn't make eye contact enough with the camera. I was probably too focused on a screen, but I just had fun doing this. If you guys had fun listening to this or watching this and kind of laughing along with me as I recorded this, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear some feedback on this content. And yeah, thanks for listening in as we try something different this week and just kind of supporting the podcast all around. We'll be back next week with a normal, That's the Flavor, Ozzy and I, or myself and a guest style episode. And yeah, Thank you guys for supporting this. This has been episode number. This has been number 43, episode 43 of That's the Flavor. I've been Christian. And until next week, taste buds, I will talk to y'all later. Take care. Goodbye. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And thank you guys for supporting the show. Until then, goodbye. Nom nom nom. Nom nom.